Alright, welcome to the grand finals of the Man of the Mountain tournament. We got Gorbad facing Thorgrim here. And we're going off with a crazy savage Night Rush from Gorbad. So we got 5 units of Night Goblins Fanatics, which you've been seeing throughout the competition, but I've never actually explained what they do. Other than be obnoxiously bright with their red hoods. That is insane. So the spinning loon is it's a goblin with a chain and a heavy ball, and they fucking, oh excuse me, and they just fucking eviscerate everything, which more than not these in this tournament has been itself, but you know, we're just trying to soften up and distract as many forces as we can. All the way in the back, we have some Goblin Wolf Riders, 2 units of them, trying to get after these Grudge Throwers. But behind those Night Goblin Fanatics, we got 2 groups of 2 Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. I mean anti-large, anti-infantry. Little bad on the sustained combat, but they do have good charge bonus. So you know, it all balances out. And then for the main line, we got 5 units of Savage Orcs. Savage Orcs have no armor, but they have physical resistance of 25%, which is great because dwarves don't really do endurance, or don't really do a lot of damage, and they don't have magic. And then all the way behind them, we have Gorbad Ironclaw on Gnarla, or I think it's Gnarla is the name of his pig. No way, they got the original orc faction symbol. That is awesome. That's neat detail. Anyways, and then we have an orc shaman, which you have not seen yet in this competition, but we're going bigger, going home. So we got okay, we got the Lore of the Big Waaagh with Gaze of Mork, which is a projectile spell, much like what's it called? Sadistic Glare? Vindictive Glare. Much like Vindictive Glare, but less projectiles and more damage per projectile. Fist of Gork, which gives magical attacks, which isn't the best against dwarves with their faction-wide spell resistance of 35% weight damage of magical spells and magical abilities. Okay, so yeah, a little bit less damage, but in exchange we get 24 melee attack and 24 melee defense, which should balance out. And then if that doesn't balance it out, we brought Here We Go, which is an area augment with plus 40 melee attack on top of these 45 melee attack Savage Orcs and this 65 melee attack Gorbad Ironclaw. Well, without further ado, let's get into. Wait, I forgot to look at their fight. Yeah, what he said. So we got unit of Iron Breakers holding the flank with Dwarf Warriors right next to them, and Doom Seekers, which you have not seen yet. These guys came in the Elspeth von Draken DLC. We'll have to keep a close eye on them. Iron Breakers. More Iron Breakers here. Some Dwarf Warriors, and then 2 units of Rangers. 3 units of Rangers, and then the 3 Bolt Throwers that you saw. Plus Thorgrim Grudge Bearer. Alright, now we can get into the fight. And let me show you the sheer destructive potential of these spinning loons. Granted, look at the damage it's done to them, but these Dwarf Warriors would have taken forever to get rid of if we didn't do that. So this flank did manage to fare a lot better. We pretty much destroyed those miners. These Iron Breakers got eviscerated. But the rest of the flank is pretty much just, or the rest of the front line is pretty much just Savage Orcs now. Savage Orcs and Squig Hoppers. I did forget, not forget, I did hold my my Squig Hoppers back because I didn't want them specifically getting destroyed by the spinning loons. But, you know, the whole purpose was to drop my one spinning loon and with each unit and get the fuck out. And you can now see we got Gorbad Ironclaw with Here We Go, the Wah, the Fists of Gork, and his own ability. Got him up to 138 melee attack. Ain't nobody fucking with him. This Dwarf Lord is not long for this world with a melee attack like that. One hit and he's over. And you can just see him getting chunked down there. Thorgrim's on his way to help, but there's only so much he can do. Plus, I got an Orc Shaman. Pretty sure I'm about to drop a, whoa. So we do actually have some goblins coming back, though. So we're really getting more money than we bargained out of them. We only wanted the one ability of spinning loons. So here we have the Iron Breakers, and more Iron Breakers over here that we have to keep tied up because they still have blasting charges that I'm trying to make sure we do not give them any chance to use. So anything that can stagger or do whatever to. So I'm using spinning loons, I'm throwing in my hoppers, I'm doing everything I can to make sure these Iron Breakers don't get to use those blasting charges. Thorgrim is managing, with all of his buffed up stats, oh my goodness, is managing to try and chase my Orc Shaman, but I was saying no with Gorbad Ironclaw, with his own uber buffs. Trying everything he can to get rid of Thorgrim. I suddenly was like, alright, there's like nothing else on this map. I'm just going to dogpile Thorgrim. So I got 1, 2, and yeah, those 2 units of Night Goblins trying to get the poison on him. Trying to do as much damage. Got some Gaze of Gort going in there, but it really didn't do that much damage. What the fuck is that noise? As you can see, this is the main pocket here. Oh, we've come full circle. We've done it. My goodness, we've shown. Oh my gosh. So these Iron Breakers, as you can see, have not had a chance to use much of their ammunition, and they're down to abysmally low amounts of people. And just like that, I believe that what's his name? That Gorbad Ironclaw has managed to beat everybody. Not everybody, but he has managed to beat Thorgrim. We have Doomseekers here, which I did not keep very close eye on, but we can try again. Sorry, I lost like track of my own thoughts there. What I was trying to say is we're just gonna watch them fight to the bitter end. And just like that, in 4.5 minutes, Gorbad Ironclaw does manage to pull out a victory. Let's see who got crazy value this time around. So Gorbad Ironclaw actually getting 2,200. I think that's a new high for any Lord in the series. He must have dealt with both Lords single-handedly there. Only 67 value on the Shaman, but he had 2 buff spells, so we can let it slide. 1,100 value on these Fanatics. That is incredible with 900 right there. Seems that I was being a little too harsh on these guys. Oh, look at that. Oh, 800 value and 9 kills. They must have been throwing their loons into the Iron Breakers. Yeah, these super buffed Savage Orcs didn't seem to do too crazy, but still, even then it was they performed really well. And you could say the same for these Goblin Wolf Riders. Cheapest melee cav that the Greenskins have, and it was just enough. They both paid for themselves pretty well. They got rid of the artillery and all that. You could say the same for the Squigs, although they did, well, some of them performed poorly, but I'd say they did pretty good considering their their purpose. If we look over here on the dwarf side, we get these Iron Breakers with 1,000, and these Iron Breakers with 120 kills, but only 600 value. So nothing too crazy there. The Doom Seekers up here with 1,700 value. That's pretty crazy. They're only they only cost 1,300. They only cost as much as this Lord. They're actually more expensive than the regular Dwarf Lord. But these 3 units of Rangers didn't do too well, and of course the artillery was shut down pretty early. So 4.5 minutes for Gorbad to for Thorgrim to beat Gorbad. Let's see if the Dowie endurance will hold for the rest of the competition. All right, welcome to Thorgrim's Revenge. We gotta see if Thorgrim can hold out against the pretty aggressive start of Gorbad Ironclaw, where Thorgrim can hold out. So immediately a Spirit Leech going down in the Dwarven Lord, but we have 2 units of hammers in the front line with a unit of Dwarf Warriors on each flank, with Thorgrim himself, of course, here to support, with 1 unit of Grudge Throwers and 1 unit of Bolt Throwers. The Grudge Throwers are being guarded by 1 unit of Pirate Slayers, which I don't think you've seen very often in this competition. So let's get a close-up on them. They have, you know, they're Pirate Slayers. They're Dwarf Slayers, but Pirate. So they have a little flintlock pistol. Let's see what else they have. Death Blow, which gives them more damage when they're below health. Fire while moving, Unbreakable, Slayer. What's Slayer do? This unit is a Slayer. Slayers can never have their weapon strength reduced during a battle. Ooh. Yeah, we got 2 more of those protecting the Bolt Throwers. And then on the Gorbad, oh wait, I also had 2 units of Gyrocopters. It's going to bring the Dowie Air Force into the grand finals. Figured it was time I showed some diversity in the skill of, or in the playstyle of the Dowie. So we got some Goblin Wolf Chariots with some Orc Boar Boy Biggins, some Orc Boys. So small little skirmish corps over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units of Orc Boys on that same flank with a River Troll Hag and 1 unit of Doom Diver Catapults. If you remember them from, I believe it was the Tretch loser bracket video. So you can see they're launching up a guy. Actually, let's watch to see if we can see them fly. Yeah, we do have a River Troll Hag with Purple Sun, and of course you saw Spirit Leech. There's 1 more unit of Orc Boys, and of course we had Rugled's Armored Orcs, and we had a unit of Shielded Black Orcs and a unit of Black Orc Great Weapons. So obviously one's just going to be a little bit more defensive than the other. It's nothing too crazy. And then of course on this side we had 2 units of Goblin Wolf Chariots with 1 unit of Orc Boar Boy Biggins. And yeah, without further ado, let us get into the battle. And you can see that Doom Diver Catapult really fucking up those hammers. Got him, took out 15 poor Dwarven souls already. Looks to be another Spirit Leech going down on these hammers, but doesn't seem too bad considering they have a Purple Sun they could be using. The Slayer Pirates are gonna try and hold the Orcs back, but it's not gonna go too well as these Boar Boys just straight up ignore them. Can't say the same over here, though, as our Slayer Pirates and Gyrocopters do manage to just get us like a total firing lane on these, like, little... What's that? They did that in Rhodesia. It was like Fire Force or something, as they get just like a circle of a ring of fire around these Orc Boar Boy Biggins. I did get these Slayer Pirates into melee, trying to keep the crew alive. Had to move them off of their machines. So the Black Orc Great Weapons did manage to get onto Karak Azul. But good thing we have Slayers, and Quarrelers are no slouches when it comes to melee. Over here on the front line fight, We are not doing too hot, but it's still better than nothing. Thorgrim is here, beating up on, Alright, sorry about that. So Thorgrim and Footbad, Gorefoot, did manage to get into a duel, but it looks like, yes, Thorgrim Grudgebear did manage to win, and the front line has changed a good amount. We still have Doom Diver catapults in the back, but we did manage to get our gyrocopters on them. With these gyrocopters, I was chasing off routing units. So these Boarboy Biggins did manage to, they're just eviscerating these Slayer Pirates. It's not a very good trade. With these, I did try to turn these Slayer Pirates around because I thought that they could handle it, even though they evidently could not. Luckily, these Goblin Wolf Chariots were stopped just shy of taking out the bolt throwers, but we gotta be careful about this. And here we have the bombs of the Dowie Air Force dropping like it's hot on the Dowie, or on the orcs. Orcs and some goblins mixed in. Some of the green skin tides will be obliterated. I don't know where I'm trying to go with this, but the front line has changed a little bit. We have more, well, we had more defined flanks. Now it's just kind of left and right centers. They are managing to take down some of our gyrocopters, so we have to be a little careful, but at the end of the day, these Goblin Wolf Chariots are running out of ammo. Not this one, but luckily I have bullets to shoot back with. These guys did unfortunately rout, but I'm going after Gorbet Ironclaw. I have to make sure that he does not leave this battlefield, or at least does not return. Thorgrim Grudgebear mixed in with some Orc boys, but I'm just trying to keep him on the point to get some permanent capture weight. Can't let Gorbet have it for even 1 second. Here in the battle is about when I started thinking, and Gorbet does go down. That is not what I was thinking, but he goes. But there, our champion lays. Oh my goodness, that is a Family Guy death pose if I've ever seen it. But about here in the battles where I was thinking, man, I should have brought the Brimstone gun gyrocopters, because the River Troll Hags do have regeneration. Not sure where it is on this. Ah, yeah, regeneration, but it does give them a weakness to fire, which would have been great for the troll, but it was just not needed. Everybody's seeming to move in now. There's not much really holding except for these 2 units, and even then the giant River Troll Hag is beginning to rout, with Ruglud's Armored Orcs being the final, what's the word? Wait, is that a Dwarven Axe? Does that orc have a Dwarven Axe? Oh, the lore runs deep with this fight. But they do manage to break and flee. And in just under 6 minutes, Karazakarak does manage to win, which means Gorbad, being the speedier winner, does win Man of the Mountain. He gets to keep Carrick 8 Peaks. And we see about 1,000 value on these gyrocopters, unupgraded, so they actually earn 2 chevrons there. These 1,600 value plus the 600 value. Ooh. So both of these guys just barely paid for themselves. Thorgrim Grudgebear did about his standard 1,000 value. Nobody else did too crazy. But yeah, now let's look at Gorbad here, the victor with 1,100 value. Not sure how he got all that. The River Troll Hag probably should have saved up for a Purple Sun, but you know, you can only count for so much. Let's see here. 1,000 value on Ruglud's Armored Orcs. That's pretty nice. Nothing else really popping pop into my eye. 700 value on the 1000 value Doom Diver Catapult, but oh well. But yeah, with that, Gorbad does take the cake for the Man of the Mountain. He claims Carrick 8 Peaks. That will be the end of the Man of the Mountain tournament. What a crazy ride we've had. Thank you for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.